So what we'll do is we'll start by lying down on the mat. Now, apologise, as I'm not wearing a lot, I've had to put my microphone here. So if my voice gets a bit muffled or moved, I'm sorry, I do apologise. So we want to rest the lower back here. So place your head on the top of your hands and let your whole body go quite floppy, quite relaxed, okay? Now, what you want to do before we do anything is we contract this bottom muscle. I don't mean squeeze with our hands, I mean contract that muscle in. You'll see a slight movement. As soon as you've contracted and everything else is rested, we're going to try and lift that off the ground and keep squeezing and keep pushing the hip bones into the ground and then let the leg go. Now, let that buttock go soft and then try and lift without squeezing, and you'll instantly feel it move into your lower back. So if you do feel it move into your lower back, that means your glutes and your hamstrings aren't activating first. It should be glutes, hamstrings, back, but tends to be back, hamstrings, and glutes not at all. So let's do that again. We're going to do that 4 times. So we're going to squeeze on this side, and we're going to lift and squeeze as much as we can, and then lower back down and relax the body. Squeeze, lift, lower back down and relax the body. So relax the lower back. Squeeze, lift, and back down. And again, last time, squeeze. It might not be very high because you might feel it move back into your back straight away. So we want to relax that back down. Let's do it on the other side. Squeeze your buttock on the other side. Let's lift and lower back down. And you might notice one side's stronger than the other. And again, squeeze, lift, and back down. And again, squeeze and lift and relax the body. Last time, squeeze and lift and relax the body. Oh, just give your hips a little bit of a movement there, because you're going to feel that relaxed lower back slightly as well. Now let's turn over and we're going to come into our bridge pose. So the bridge pose is really important because we're going to be activating our glutes. As we push up, we're going to be squeezing the glutes and then opening the front of the body. So we're telling the body that while this is active, these can be soft. Okay, so feet are hips distance apart, shoulders are nice and relaxed, spine's as straight as you feel it can be. Just make sure you feel equal. You're going to squeeze the bum cheek on each side, so activate the bum. And then push and drive through and push your heels into the ground and keep squeezing up. Imagine you're kind of on strings here and this area of your body is very open and relaxed. Big deep breath in, keep squeezing, and then lower all the way back down. Relax your back. Activate your bum cheeks, 1, 2, squeeze, 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 keep squeezing, and then with that, lift the body up and push through. Use that squeeze to open at the top of the hips and close behind. There should be no strain in your lower back. Make sure there's nothing there. Big deep breath in and exhale, come back down. Now, just in case you are kind of digging your hands into the floor, turn your palms over. Let's do that again. Let's squeeze each bum cheek first, engage the bottom, and then let's lift, push through with that squeeze, push up nice and high. Keep your heels in the ground, keep it up nice and high, keep the back nice and soft. Big deep breath in and come back down. Relax the lower back. Let's do that one more time. Squeeze, squeeze the bum. Let's come up nice and high. Hold, hold, hold. And gently roll back down. Now just bring your knees in towards your chest. It's going to open up your lower back just in case you put any stress in there. A couple of nice breaths. Now while we're in this position, we could do some core activation. So if we have a block or a cushion, so if you don't have a cushion, don't worry. But if you do, if you don't have a block, use a cushion, sorry. Or you can put a book in between there, or even a ball, a small ball. But we want something that's quite substantial in between the legs so that we can push the knees against it. Just let the lower back feel neutral, so you might feel that's lifted off the ground. Reach your hands over your head, let your back arch. Take a big deep breath in And you're going to contract your tummy muscles and push your lower back in towards the ground. Feel each vertebrae touch the ground, and you're going to feel your pelvis slightly tilt. And now your muscles here are very active. Push your knees in towards each other. Push the knees together. Keep that activation here, pushing your back down. Big deep breath in. Exhale, release. You can do that again. You don't have to lift the arms this time, but you get the picture. You're going to tilt the pelvis in the opposite direction, contract through the tummy muscles, push your lower back in towards the ground, feel that contraction, push your knees together. Take a nice big deep breath in. And exhale. So we're working up into, now postpartum, if you've just had a baby, this is a very good way when you're ready to kind of close that up over and it really activates through the proper core areas and takes the strain out of the psoas. Let's do it again. So big deep breath in, arch the back, contract around the back through, push the knees in towards each other, hold, keep squeezing, keep pushing, grounding, pulling. Imagine the strings pulling you down towards the ground and release. One more time, big deep breath in. Contract and round and push your lower back in the ground. Push the knees together. And release. Oh, that feels nice. Now, keep the block in between your legs and we're going to ground the back off. Feel that contraction, and with that contraction, come onto your tips of your toes and see if you can lift the block nice and high. What we're going to do is push it away from our hips, so it's not over the top of our hips. Push it away. You're going to feel like your lower back is still in the ground, still active. Now just see if you can tap the toes down. Now let's just relax everything again and see if the back's moved. So breathe in, lower and round the back, push it in. Feel the hips pulling in towards each other like they're trying to kiss. Try and activate that front area. Come onto your toes and then lift up away from the hips. This is quite a challenge. And back down. And again. And back down. Try not to put too much neck in your shoulders here. And again. Pulling up. And back down. Relax and release. You can do it slightly differently if you're feeling comfortable with that. So you can ground and lower your back in. And what you can do is just lift, tap the toes, lift, place them back. Lift, tap the toes, lift, place back. Keep breathing. Lift, tap the toes and place them back. 3 more. Keep pushing that lower back in towards the ground. Keep pulling those hips in towards each other. We've got 1 more. And relax. Oh, that feels nice. So, move this block out of the way and then come back up. Why are we doing this? When you do this, I'm going to show you some more moves, but just to let you know, if you do this at the beginning of every workout, it means that when you go and do your weights or your squats or anything like that, your glutes will be active before your hip flexors. So it's quite important that we do it properly. We're going to come up and stand with the feet hips distance apart. Now you can do that by bringing the feet together, taking your feet and dropping them down. You don't have to. You can just step apart, but it's just good to find a nice place for them in that way. Contract your tummy muscles here. You're going to squat down, take your bum out behind you, and what we want you to do is just push the world apart. So with your feet, push the world apart and come back up. So with your hands on your hips, you're going to push the world apart. You're going to feel it pull up here, squeeze and push your bum forward and open up your hips. Really thrust forward and back down. So we're going to go down. We're going to push the world apart. Keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing and squeeze and push. And again, down, push the world apart. That's 3. We're going to do 8 altogether. Squeeze down, or as many as you can manage. Take the feet apart, keep squeezing, keep pulling and squeeze. That's 4. And down, keep pushing that world apart. Feel those glutes engaged coming up. And squeeze, that's 5. And again down, push the world apart. 6. Again, keep pulling the feet apart. 7, squeeze. Last time, and 8. Come up and squeeze. Just let those hips move. Oh. you're going to start to feel that things are working. Even if you're quite strong and you work your glutes all the time, you're still going to feel that the glutes are more targeted. So come down onto the ground. You're going to step your foot forward. And you want to have quite an elongated place here. So if you're here and you're having to overhang, it's going to be a bit unstable for the knee. So take the foot forward. In fact, the best way to do it, knee, if you need blocks actually, I'll demonstrate so it makes it a little easier. If you have your block to lean on, hold your leg in this position, place your foot down. Okay. Bring your weight back slightly so you know where your foot's in the right position. You're going to squeeze the bottom here, so activate that glute there. Pull up through the core and then drive that hip forward. So you're going to push that hip forward and feel that hip flexor open. So your intention is to squeeze here, everything's happening and you're going to feel that open there. Lift your hands up if you feel you can. Don't worry if you feel you need to bring the hands down. Keep squeezing, don't let that bottom give way. Big deep breath in and let go. So what's happening is we're working that and telling this to be a lot less engaged. Let's do that again. So squeeze, push forward, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Lift your hand up if you feel you can. Keep squeezing, keep pulling that hip forward by pushing with the bottom. Feel that move all the way down into the knee. It's quite intense. Big deep breath in and release. And you'll find when you start to do relieving tension in the hips here, you can get quite a bit of an emotional release because we carry quite a lot of trauma in our hips. So place those hands down, hands on hips if you need it. We're going to squeeze the bottom. Squeeze the bottom. Doing the other leg. Back on the other side. Sorry about that. So we're going to squeeze the bottom behind, push that leg forward and drop down and feel that muscle engage. Keep driving through and take your hand up. Now, if you are kind of contracting through your tummy muscles here a little bit, keep squeezing them and pushing forward. You're going to feel balanced. So you might not need the block. Big deep breath in and back. Let's do the same again. Squeeze the bottom of the bent leg. Drive through, so just tilt that pelvis, push it through, lean it through, coming down, keep pushing, keep squeezing, don't let that muscle let go. Reach up nice and high, nice big stretch. Keep squeezing and release. Just let your hips have a movement and come down. If you want to, we're going to go to child's pose. Just feel that lower back open up. Have a breathe. That feels nice. Okay, now this one is an uncomfortable move, but we're going to do it anyway, of course. You're going to put your hands on your lower back, squeeze your bottom and push your hips forward. Keep your back supported. If you feel it in your lower back now, your bottom's not doing the work because you should be able to move your lower back, but your bottom is keeping you in this position. A lot of spinal movement comes from having those glutes active. So if you want a more flexible spine, this is going to help with that. And come back. Now, variation, you can use a block. I think it's good to use the block. We're going to just bring our bottom down, squeeze those bum muscles, push the hip forward, come up nice and high and reach. And what's going to happen is not only are you going to feel you squeeze on this side, but you're going to feel this side up into the psoas is going to feel very open. So reach and stretch. If you feel unstable, you can dig your toes into the ground and release. Let's do that on the other side. So squeeze, push, reach up. Keep pushing through the hips, big deep breath in. Reaching and stretching and release. Just let yourself come down again. Just give your lower back any opening that it needs. And then very gently come down. Hold on to your knees, just round your back, contract into the core,
round your back, open up your back. And back up. Give it a go. Just before I let you go, what you can do before you do that whole routine is actually labour the muscles. So if you've got a block, or a rolling pin in fact, because you can actually just sit on and roll through the tops of your legs. But if you have got one of these, what you can do is spend 5 minutes before you start your workout just rolling all the way into the hips, all the way back down to your knee. And then do the whole exercise routine we've just done, and that is going to help aid the activation of your glutes. Okay, give it a go. Thank you.